Hi there, it's Ann Sermons Gillis. I want to talk to you about some EZosophy principles today. Remember, a hard-aholic, H-A-R-D, aholic makes life hard and suffers about it. And an EZosophist eliminates ego-driven struggle, suffering, strain, and sacrifice. So the topic today is sometimes good is bad. What? Sometimes good is bad? Yes. When I was young, I learned to be a good girl, not to rock the boat and to try to please others. This creates a disaster on spontaneity, on creativity, and when I woke up to the fact that I was trying to be good in order to please other people, I decided to form, this is a joke, but I said I'm forming an anonymous program called Goody Goody Anonymous for people who have been good all their lives. And so I chose to do some really crazy things to be bad. For example, I took a loaf of white bread, which I don't eat, and I threw it in the dirt and I mashed it all up. Just some crazy things to be bad. But being bad and going the opposite of being good is no way to overcome that particular problem. What we need to do is to actually learn how to be ourselves. Now, there's another aspect of good, when being good is bad, and that is that when we try to be good to game the universe. In other words, if I do really good things will happen to me. If I do bad things will happen to me. That sounds good in theory, but the problem is that we don't want to game the universe, that the good that we do should come from our heart, not from our head. When it comes from our head, it's like, okay, I've figured out a way to keep myself safe. And what happens is that when we're resisting, whatever we resist, like we're resisting that something bad might happen to us, then we actually become a magnet to draw that to us. So what we want to do is to live naturally. So sometimes saying no is the good thing. Instead of saying yes, people say, well, if I say yes to them, then I'm being good to them. It's like, no, we have to follow our heart, be congruent, and be with what is really going on with us. If I really feel bad or I don't want to do something, then I need to not do that. I need to say no. And so saying no is good instead of bad. We need to know the distinctions between good and bad. And even when we label things as good and bad, we set up this polarity that fights with it. Good and bad fight each other. But what we want to do is we want to move past that, because when we do something that's helpful to others or beneficial to others, we immediately get a benefit from that because we feel good, because it makes us know that we've done something good, that we've helped other people. But it's not something, it's not a head thing. It's not like, oh, I'm such a good person, I just did such a nice thing. That's back in the ego. That's serving the ego. So when is good good? Well, when good is good, we don't even hardly notice it. We don't notice when we're being good. We just do it naturally, because actually doing the right thing and being good is good. In 1992, I attended an adjunct conference to the United Nations Conference on the Environment, UNCED, which was called the Women's Convocation, and Wangari Maathai, who is from not Kenya. Was a very famous environmental activist. She spoke in this country a lot, and it was along the move. She was one of the movers and shakers. And when she walked into the Women's Convocation, she had just gotten out of prison because environmentalists in her country were considered enemies of the state. And she limped into the convocation, and the person that was speaking, the woman that was speaking, just stopped, and everybody stood up and started clapping. They brought her immediately to the microphone, and she stood up and she spoke, and she said, I'm a woman and I don't have a lot of power, but I do know how to do the right thing. And so do you, and so do you, and so do you, and so do you. And she said that for about 100 times, pointing to each one of us in the audience. Of course, there were actually probably 2,000 people in the audience, so she couldn't point to that much. So that and our power is doing the right thing, which is the same as doing the good thing, but we don't do it in order to impress other people or to game the universe. I'm going, for example, if a child is in the road and a car is coming, I run out and get the child. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm getting points, I'm scoring points here. No, we're just doing the right thing. We're just doing the good thing. So it's important that we make the distinction between what is good, when good is good, and when good is bad. So this is Easy Ann, and I want you to remember for sure that I love you.